everyone. Hello. Welcome, welcome. We have our guest speaker, Debbie Langley, will be coming back to us just in a few moments. We are going to preview a couple of other things and we'll bring you right back on, Debbie.
Thanks.
All right. Welcome to Monday Mojo, February 27th, 2023. I cannot believe February has just about ended. I know it's already a short month, but it seems like it was only 10 days long this month. And here it is already down to the last 2 days, today and tomorrow. Everything that you want to get done in February, chop, chop, it's time to get it done. You know what? Don't freak out because you have another month to put everything on the calendar not get done for February. All right. I hope everyone has had a great month. We are going to get started with what we have going on. Balance. Wow, balance. Monday Mojo is bringing you balance. Do you have balance with family and business, work? You know, I know so many of us juggle so many things, being a busy mom, parent, dad, grandparent, special person in someone's lives. It's hard to do sometimes, but our guest speaker, Debbie Langley, is going to give us suggestions and advice on how to overcome so many things that we are trying to conquer and to be able to conquer them correctly. And, you know, we know it's all in the mindset, but you have to have tools to get that mindset correct. You have to have tools to get from one journey to another. So we are going to talk about balance. And you know, Home Sweet Home Treasures, the proud sponsor of Monday Mojo. And with that, Home Sweet Home Treasures rolled out our affiliate program last year, around the middle of the year, I guess. And we have really made it one of our huge goals this year in 2023 to bring our affiliate program to everyone, let everyone know about it, not just a few people. And we want you to know that you can join our affiliate program for free. There is no monthly fees. There are no fees. We are here to help you make part-time to full-time money by being a purposeful shopping ambassador with us. That's right. And one of the great things is you get paid when you want to get paid. You want to get paid daily, once a week, every other week, once a month. You just let us know and we will do that. We give you your special affiliate link. Just go to homesweethometreasures.net. Click the tab that says affiliate. Fill out those couple of sentences there, and then you will receive your affiliate link. That affiliate link you will use to advertise, to let others know that you are an affiliate with us. And every time someone purchases using that link, you will see it in your back office. That's right. Nothing's hidden. Everything's out there for you to see. So please remember that. Do not wait. Go to homesweethometreasures.net. Click the affiliate link. We have so many things there for you to look at homesweethometreasures.net. Yes, it is a e-commerce site. You can purchase there. But we have a lot of free how to save the earth, one landfill at a time information. We have articles, we have flyers, we have cutouts and drawings for different occasions. So please check out our website. We also have a great virtual recipe book from 2022. And then we have another one that is 2022 through February of 2023. And all of these recipes have came from our viewers, our supporters. They have sent in some of their favorite recipes, and we have put them and compiled them into a virtual recipe book. Check them out. There are some great recipes. They're all great. And there's things that you wouldn't think of, easy things to elaborate things. So check them out. All right. Getting back to our Monday Mojo, and we want you to truly enjoy learning more about balancing. Is balance possible with family and business, or work and work? You have your work, you have your family. How do you balance them all? Well, on Monday Mojo tonight, we are going to give you some suggestions and advice. To continue on, Debbie Langley is our guest speaker tonight, and she is here to help with balance between family and business. There is a way to do it, folks. I know that when my girls were all young, it was all about organizing, mindset. There wasn't all this virtual learning like we have now. So it was a little harder to dig deep and try to figure it out by books or going to the library to a class or asking other parents or just figuring it out on your own sometimes. So I am sure Debbie is going to give us a lot of suggestions. You know, we had calendars and push boards and who was taking who to softball practice and who was picking up after school and how were we going to squeeze our time sometimes. So if I would have had people like Deb in my life, it might have made it easier for me to figure it all out. So who is Debbie? Well, Debbie Langley is a mother of 6 children spaced over 17 years. Now she is a nana of 9 with more to come. So now she has 15 others in her life that she probably still gives guidance, help, and suggestions to just under her family. And now she's reaching out to help us all. What a great thing. She was raised in an entrepreneurial home with her father owning his own gas station and auto repair shop. Now that brings back memories for me. And when Debbie comes on, she might can put us a spotlight on this. But I remember my dad not owning a business, but worked at a car wash, and there was a gas station attached to it. And we would go out, and me and my brother would work it after school. And on the weekends, you would pump people's gas, and you would wipe their windshields off and air up their tires if they needed. And yes, I was right out there in the sun, heat, cold, snow, whatever, doing this. Now, I don't know if those are the kind of gas station that Debbie dealt with, but we will find out from her, I'm sure. She and her 3 sisters worked at the shop pumping gas and repairing cars. Now, I never had to repair cars, Debbie, so that is, see, everyone's different. Everyone's lived their lives different. Her first business was mowing lawns with a push mower. I never did that as a business, but I definitely pushed a lot of mowers to keep the yard mowed. It didn't take her long to figure out she made more money babysitting, and it was a lot easier. Now, Debbie, I did a lot of babysitting back then before I was old enough to go out at a what they call real job. I babysitted from, just down the street to across town, however, just to make extra money for the things that I needed and wanted. So I'm excited to hear more about Debbie's babysitting and other jobs that she did. While raising her children. She ran two of their family businesses, taking one of them to $1 million. She now spends her time coaching women entrepreneurs how to build a thriving business while putting their families first. And we're all probably guilty of getting that lopsided at times, some more than others. I'm guilty of that as well when my girls were younger. My girls are grown now and have my grandchildren, and it's still sometimes hard for me to juggle the housework, what I want to do in the yard, the husband, the grandchildren, my daughters, because of my business. But we have to make sure we keep that family first. That's what it's all about, folks. We only get one life. Live the journey. It's all about the journey. And let's make sure that it's the family. That's our hearts. That is what's closest to us. We are going to bring Debbie on now, and let's hear what she has to tell us. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you for having me today.
Yes, we are so excited. I know that every household has struggled with balance. I know it.
It really is tough. And we have seen so many changes with the pandemic. And what I've seen mostly with my clients is that they have experienced that opportunity to be involved in their kids' lives, because we don't live in a society anymore that allows us to have stay-at-home moms. Usually we get to have two incomes just to survive. So with our what they're doing is they didn't want to go back to work, so they started a business, and they have no idea what it was going to take to start their own businesses, that it's going to take time, energy, and effort to make this business grow and to replace that income that they had at the job. So one of my recent referrals came to me, and her friend introduced her as a octopus on roller skates, because she was so dispersed in what she was doing. She just was going everywhere. And if you can imagine an octopus on roller skate, what that would look like. And so we were able to talk and find out what her priorities are, because one of the first things you have to do in order to know what you're going to do is, what are your priorities? And it's different for everybody. For me, it was family first. That's why I had children, and I wanted that to be my priority. For some people, it has to be the income, because if you're a single mom, you have to have income. And sometimes that means that in addition to building your business, you have to have a part-time job, or maybe you work full-time and then you're building your business part-time. So I found that there are really 4 keys to building your balance with your priorities and your family and your business. 1, you have to know what your priorities are. 2, you then have to set up boundaries, because that's why that we had this octopus on roller skates, is because she didn't have boundaries. She started in the morning, and before she ever got out of bed, she's looking at her phone for all the messages that came in during the night. And so she's trying to get the kids ready for school, check the phone, check her computer, and keep on top of her calendar. And she's not doing good for anybody because she's so distracted. And once we get the boundaries established, because you have to have clear boundaries, like set times that you're going to be working, and set times that are family time. And as a mompreneur, you're especially having to divide that time up, because you don't have the luxury, if you're working at home especially, to be like, I'm 8 hours in the office and that's it. Nobody disturb me. And especially if you have little kids, you've got to work around nap time and meal time and all of those things. And so we've got to do some time budgeting so that you get the most out of your time. And once we get priorities and boundaries in, then we start putting in systems so that they certain tasks are being handled on a regular basis. And then the last part of the 4 things is that we have to have routines, because routines are what make everything work like clockwork. So those are the 4 things. Would you like me to elaborate on those individually, or do you have
I think that would be great, because you know what, Debbie, that is our struggles, right? I mean, we're all over the place with our calendars, we're all over the place with our time, we're all over the place on, and it's again, I mentioned earlier, it's about the mindset. You have to have the tools to have that mindset, and those 4 steps sound like that's the tools of being able to get your mind wrapped around what you should be doing. I mean, even today, and I don't have little ones around me today, it's like my head starts spinning every once in a while, and I have to just get back on task, get back on that system that I have in place for me.
It really is. We wear so many different hats, especially as women. We are a wife, a mother, a daughter, a child. We are the homemaker. We are the cook, the laundress, the taxi, and the nursemaid. And so we have to decide really what is our primary priorities. And I like to put them down in, what are your top 5 priorities? And once we do our top 5 priorities, then we're going to look at what is our number 1 priority and how are we going to best fulfill that priority. That is different to everybody, because like for me, family being first was that I wanted to spend time with my kids, and not just time. I wanted to spend quality time. I wanted to build relationships. I wanted to build memories. So then that puts a different twist on just being there. It changed what I was going to put in for some systems and routines as well. And that's one of the things I really love about working with each woman. And I do work with men. So if you're seeing this and you're a man, I still work with you guys. It's just that I am more focused on women entrepreneurs right now. But it transfers, just like it transfers between industries, it transfers between people. But to see the transformation in their lives as they get to work in their priorities, instead of having to work in the have-tos, or putting out fires every single day, all day, and that's all I'm doing, to have it into a routine where they know exactly what's expected from them, and the kids and their spouse or partner, and they get to understand exactly what their priorities are and where they fit in life. And it just is amazing to see the chaos come back down and into something manageable and beautiful. And while I'm not the actual creator, I'm a facilitator in them creating that masterpiece. So
That was so beautifully said. That was so beautifully said.
thank you.
You know, I want to go back just for a moment. When did you start your business doing what you do? Was it while your children were young? Did you wait until they were a little older?
Well, are you talking about my coaching business?
Yes, your coaching business.
I became a certified coach back in 2001, and I was doing mindset and business coaching. I still had our other family businesses. We've had several, but it seemed like we always had two at every single time. And my husband then was an air traffic controller, and his work schedule was such that he worked 5 shifts in 4 days and then took 3 days to recover. And so he wasn't really there to run our businesses. It was really hard to learn the systems because, like you said earlier, my kids are spaced out over 17 years. At one time, I had, and this is in 2001, I had a senior in high school. I had a 9th grader who was junior high at that time, 2 elementary, 1 preschooler, and a year-old baby. So I was having to really work to get our businesses going and be there for the kids.
And your husband was gone most of the time.
Yeah, before I became a single mom, I was a single mom. And that's the case in a lot of people's lives, that they have a husband that travels for work, or the work schedule is such that they end up feeling like a single parent. And that is really what happened to me. But it made it so that I could be more intentional and more deliberate in my choices. One of the things that was so important to me was to have a sit-down dinner. And when you're running to a lot of different places, you can't normally just have a sit-down dinner. You have to plan it out. So I had systems. For a while, I used the freezer meals where you cook everything all on one Saturday and you stick them in the freezer and pull them out as you need them. I have used dinner in a bags, where I took things that we either had canned or that I had bought at the store and put them together in a bag and put a label on it, so we knew what we were having for dinner, and I could grab it and I could either put it in the crock pot at the beginning of the day, or if it was something like, my kids really liked macaroni and cheese. It's not my favorite, but that was theirs, and we would eat it, and it would always have a can of green peas with it. That sometimes we'd throw in some tuna with it. One of the things that I absolutely hated as a mom, and I even hate it right now, is the question, what is for dinner? And I'm the one asking me now. It's not that I have kids asking me, it's me. It's like, oh, what's for dinner? Gosh. So I have even gone back to using those same things for me now in my life as a single person.
I do remember when my girls were young, one was in gymnastics. She was there 6 and 7 days a week, and it was running from school to, okay, how am I going to get an after school snack, and her to the gym. And then sister has softball practice in a whole nother town, and dad's out of town on work. And, sometimes, but it was all in the scheduling. We had this little not a big, calendar hanging on the wall, and it's color coded for each daughter. We only had 2. And then if dad was out of town, it was a mom that I might have to help, because I can only be in one place at a time. But, going back to dinners, that was very important to us as parents, is we wanted to sit down every night. And you know what? I still to this day think that's when you really find out what your children, even as adults, did that day. And
It is.
it really is. I mean, that's when we found out everything. Good, bad, ugly, nice, sweet. It all came out during dinner, it seemed like. And it was great though. And those were some great memories. My girls have now, they did that with their children. And but it really is the memories that you make during those times. Now, when they were really small, we did get to do dinner. But then when they got bigger, older, and got into activities, sometimes it just getting us fed was just all I could do, if he was out of town. Now, sometimes he would get home before me and he would start dinner, or vice versa, but sometimes it was just getting us fed. And then when they got older, even older, Debbie, it was like, okay, we can't do every night because they have activities at night now. But we would make it every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We would have dinner, sit down, all of us at once. Then it got a little older. Then it became only Friday nights, But you still, and even today, and my girls, of course, they're grown and have my grandkids, and the oldest one is 17 and the youngest one is 3. And we have 4 of them. So we still juggle to try to have dinner with our children at least once a month, at least.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And, sometimes even now, one of them will have to miss because, work or something. But we try at least once a month to have a sit down at one of the girls' house or at ours and have dinner. And still yet, that's when everything comes out of what's going on since the last time we got together.
Isn't it wonderful, the conversation at the table?
Yes.
I mean, that is something that I have always kind of lived for, is that conversation. In our family, we have 5 boys and 1 girl. And we thought, oh my gosh, what are we going to do with sports? Especially with them spread out so far. We decided that we did some research and discovered that for the boys, that with sports, it really didn't matter when they started. They really didn't mature and get their true talents to manifest until they were in high school. So we chose in our family to put off sports until they were in high school.
Oh, wow.
So it worked really well. And my kids did very well in their sports. It was a good opportunity for the younger kids to be able to go and support the older kids. And it meant that we were home every night for dinner. And we were able to adjust our dinner time so that, instead of eating at 5, maybe we were eating at 6 or 6:30. Right. So that we always had that. And it made such an impression, not just on my own kids, but I had a nephew come and stay at our house, and he goes, Aunt Debbie, I just love coming to your house. If I could stay here, I would do it all the time. And I was like, why? What do we do different? And he's like, you guys eat meals together. And it was in the summertime, and we were still eating dinner together, but we were also eating breakfast together. And he goes, I love mealtime. It means so much to me. And I was like, wow.
Absolutely. And so many people has gotten away from that. Way back when the families did that. I mean, from way back when. And then every generation, it seems like it gets less. But I still to this day think that's one of the most important things. Balance is, if you have your food I felt like this with my girls. If I could have my food and the clothing structured, that I really could get through each and every day.
Yeah. That's something that not only do we find in entrepreneurial homes, but in any home where you're going out to work, is you need to know that there's going to be food on the table and clothes for the kids to wear. When I was doing surveys, those were the two biggest concerns. The things that people were waking up at 4:00 in the morning and worrying about was, okay, are the kids going to have socks and underwear? And did I wash the jeans? So one of the things that we did in our family was I loved it when we went to charter schools because they had uniforms, and I took the experience, and we just went down. Okay, 3 pairs of pants. My daughter had 2 pairs of pants and a skirt. They have 5 shirts. They've got 1 or 2 sweaters. They've got their Sunday clothes. It made it so easy.
Yes.
Besides, besides their uniforms, we had some play clothes because I grew up in a home where I was taught, okay, clothes have a time and a place. So you got your uniform for school, you get home, you put in your play clothes, your work clothes, and you got your jammies, your night clothes. And on Sunday, you're going to wear your church
Sunday
clothes, and you come home and you change.
Exactly.
But
I'm right with you.
Reduce.
And when my oldest one went to school, it was okay. But then when the second one started to school, I was all over the place, like getting to work on time, getting my husband off to work on time, getting the girls, and then it got where I was scattered. So that's when we started, like I would plan out all dinners on Sundays for the week. And there was no guessing. Everybody knew what we were having for dinner. Everybody knew what we were having for dinner Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But even to go with the clothing, because those are the 2 areas that stress me out the most, is I had my husband put in a second rod in their closet. One was really high and one was really low. And this was their school clothes.
Cool.
And I said, you can choose anything on this rack you want. I don't care what day for school. Anything. And I literally would have their shoes. Now, this one, they were really small before they cared what they wore. Their shoes, their hair bows, their socks, their undies, everything. And we didn't go to charter school, so it was, things different. I didn't care what day they wore them, but don't pick anything else out. It's just that way, you know what? And I do all the laundry, and I would do all of that on Saturday. So I wasn't piled down with meals and clothes the same day. But it worked for me. I don't know if it works for everyone. And I don't know if that's the main concerns, but for me, it was the 2 main concerns is making sure they had clean clothes and food.
Right. Well, in my survey, that's exactly what every other woman has told me. So I think you're right in there.
The normal hobby.
Yeah, and we each come up with our own way of handling dinners. You planned out the calendar. With my kids, I found that it worked really well. I had a jar with all of our favorite meals in it. And with 8 of us at home, that meant it wasn't too hard to fill up an entire month-long calendar. And you can use the calendar for 3 months because food is seasonal. And so I only had to do that once a quarter. And they took I put all those meals in a jar, and they got to pull them out. And
great idea. I love that.
So it was so easy. But then once I got my shopping list, I had everything for that month. I repeated it for the next month and for the next month. And then the great thing is you put it in a notebook and you repeat it again next year without having to do too much. You might adjust what your favorite meals are, but you don't have to redo everything because it's already done.
That is awesome. I wish I would have thought about that then. See, if we would have had people like you, Debbie, way back then to teach us, and all this virtual learning, I would have known that. But see, I just kept redoing it. And but it's amazing when you collaborate together and you can learn so much more and spread your wings so much farther and learn from each other. And that's what I love about this virtual learning. I mean,
I
it's
agree.
truly, and let me tell you, whoever invented a crock pot, Nicole, I don't know what I would have done without a crock pot so many times.
Well, have you tried the Instapot? Because now I'm like, I love the crock pot, but I also love my Instapot.
My daughter was telling me I have to get an Instapot. She
It
loves
is
her.
so cool. I love it because you can do so many things in the Instapot I have. I can even do some canning in it. I can do 5-pint jars in it. So when I cook extras, because this is another thing that I learned with my family, is it's just as easy to cook 2 meals as it is one. And so I just doubled everything and put one in the freezer. And I'd rather not have it in the freezer because I'm one of those that's like, I'd forget right now to go get it out of the freezer. So I can it. I just put it in a jar and I can it, especially my meats. I love canned meats because it makes it so much easier. I just Saturday did shredded pork. And then it's ready there for whatever I want it for.
That's awesome. And you just canned it and put it in the freezer?
No, I just canned it in a jar so it sits on the shelf.
Okay. Okay. So you didn't, okay. That's even better. That way your freezer is not filled up with everything.
Right.
Spread it around.
I love canning. My grandma, when I was a teenager, taught me how to do chicken and beef. And even before that, we had this great tradition of going up to Port Angeles, Washington to visit. And the guys would go out to the docks and pick up a load of tuna and bring it back to my grandma's house. And the men would do all the cutting up of the fish. And then all the girls and the women would can it. And it was an amazing experience. And you never tasted such good tuna as fresh tuna that's been canned at home.
Oh, wow. And my coming from a poor family, my family all canned when I was younger, even my mother. But then over time, it's lost. None of us can anymore. I don't know why. She never taught me to can, but they all canned on, my dad's side of the family and my mom. But I never remember tuna. So that's new to me. But their beets, oh my gosh, my grandma, my mom's mom, did the best canned beets ever.
Oh, wow. Now, see, that's dear to my heart because I love beets, and my family doesn't like beets, so I just buy a couple cans of beets here and there because I'm too lazy to grow them and put the effort into them. But that's an amazing memory because I do think canned beets from home are a lot better.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? And it may just be all in my memory, all in my mind for the love of my grandmother, but I have never tasted great beets since.
Well, it's because anything that is canned in a can is actually a little bit green. So it's never matured to the flavor that you can get out of your home garden. So it's not in your memories. It is a literal truth that those are the best beets.
Oh, I'm telling you, I still remember that. And it was that was the love I had. Every time I would go, I would take a jar home with me. And nobody else in my family liked them, my parents and my brother. I was the oldest of 4, but they didn't like them. So I would literally eat the whole jar on my own time and not have to share.
That is so cool.
Yes. So is there anything else that you want to add before we go today, before you give everyone your great offer that you have to offer them?
I think that one of the things that is really important, but is very hard for a lot of people to do, is to focus on what you do best and share the rest. So that means either involve family or involve hiring somebody else. It's not always a super expensive thing to do, because quite often you can hire a teenager. That would be less expensive than hiring an adult. We have even VAs that you can hire from other countries that are less expensive. There are so many things that you can share and not have to do yourself. You don't need to carry all the burden. There are people that can do the job better than you can do. So let them do it.
Amen. And I have told people this so many times. They'll say, well, how do you want this done? I don't know. I don't know how to do it. That's why I'm coming to you. You're the expert. So please do what you do best.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't know how to do everything to the fullest extent, the best.
You're
it's
right.
Just not possible.
You're totally right.
So, okay, so I am dying to hear what you have for us as your offer today for everyone that is listening now and will listen later.
Well, my offer today is I would like to give you my 11 steps to transforming your family, home, and business. This is the very blueprint that I use with my clients to help them make this transition to balancing their home and family. So all you have to do to get this is to text transform to 218-319-9903, and it will just send it to you.
Absolutely. And it's going across the screen now. And when we are done, you can also go back and rewatch the recording and get it from there. And then we will also put it in the comments later tonight as well, so that you can truly get this. And this is phenomenal. This is a great, great gift from Debbie to whomever wants it. And please, if you don't need it, maybe you know someone that needs that extra helping hand. It's okay to reach out. Right, Debbie?
It is.
You know, that's what we want. Now, if you want to contact Debbie, you can reach her at debbie@experiencingmore.com, and that's her email. And you can email her and set up a time where you and her can communicate and talk about how to set up something for you that can help you and your family in your business, or your family in your work. You know, even if you're just a stay-at-home mom, maybe you need help with balancing the family and your husband's job. I mean, I can imagine. I remember when my husband used to travel, it would drive me crazy. He would be in these elaborate hotel rooms, Debbie, driving a Cadillac rental car, and I'm sitting here with two babies, and one of them always got sick when he went out of town, and working. The water heater went out, something.
Yeah.
I mean, it was never when he was at home to help out. So
that is how it always happens, and it's like clockwork, Something's going to happen as soon as you go, so please don't go.
I know, it's like, do you have to go? I'm just sitting here wondering, what will it be? What will it be?
Let it be a little thing, please.
But little things can make the whole week go by, because you're balancing so many things. So, well, Debbie, I want to thank you so very much, but hang on with us. We are going to do a sneak peek preview of what HomeSweetHomeTreasures.net has in store for everyone. And then we will be right back with you guys. If I can hit all the right buttons. Hello, everyone. This is LaDonna with Home Sweet Home Treasures, coming to you live today. Everyone's having a fantastic day. I'm here to give you just a little sneak you guys enjoyed just that little sneak peek preview of just one item that you're going to find at Home Sweet Home Trend. But we have hundreds and hundreds to choose from. We list new things almost daily. We're always reaching out and trying to find the best deals that we can give you and your family to make your shopping easier. And we're going to bring Debbie back here with us. And we have just a couple more things that we're going to lead out with. And then we're going to say goodbye to everyone. But hold on for just a second here. Just a couple of little reminders of things going on. Here we go. All right, we had a little bit of technical difficulties there, it sounded like, but here we are. Okay, goodbye, everyone. Have a beautiful evening and enjoy the rest of your week. And remember, keep your mojo going.